All right, I wanted to show you how to very easily and very quickly complete your function tables. So first, I want to just remind you of how a function table works so that you could do it on your own if you wanted to. But then I'm going to show you how to do it on Desmos. So we're going to take our function. I'm going to go ahead and write this on this sheet here so that you can see, so that I can show you how to do this by hand. Like I said, the reason for this is I want to just show you how you can do it by hand, just so that you remember what's really happening here. And then we'll do Desmos. So you are given a function f of p equals negative p squared, and you're given these p values. So to create your function table, all you're doing is you're taking your p value and plugging it in for p, and then you're going to simplify. And you're going to do that every single time with every single number. So you would start with finding f of negative 2 by doing negative, because of your negative. And then because we're going to square, remember you would want to put it in parentheses, so negative 2, and then squared. And then you can just use your calculator to actually type that in. You want to make sure you have those parentheses. So I can go back and I can show you on Desmos that it's negative and then negative 2 squared. So the negative from the negative p on the outside, and then negative 2, our p value is inside, and then squared. That gives you negative 4. And then you would repeat the same thing, except this time we're going to do it with 0. So it's negative, and then 0 gets squared. That's pretty easy. That one's 0. Then you would do the same thing with 2. So we would calculate f of 2 by doing negative and then 2 squared, which if you want to go back to Desmos, you can just type negative and then 2 squared, which is negative 4. And then f of 4, which we have negative, and then your 4 squared. So if you come back to Desmos, negative, and then 4 squared gives you negative 16. So our function table, as we completed it, gives you negative 2, negative 4, 0, 0, 2, negative 4, and 4, negative 16. Then I'm going to go ahead and type these in. Negative 4, 0, negative 4, and then negative 16. And fantastic, we did it correctly by hand. Now I'm going to show you how to do it using Desmos. So one thing that you need to remember is that Desmos doesn't like variables other than x's and y's. But in this case, we can use our function notation of f, but we do need to change this to be f of x. So I really want to see this as f of x equals x squared. And then I want to see this as x and this as f of x. Okay. Now, if you remember, Desmos has this cool feature where, oops, let me click has this cool feature where you can put in a table. So the first thing you're going to do is type in the function as we've changed it. So we had, remember we want it to be f of x equals x squared, just change those n's to be x's. So f of x equals x squared. There's your graph. You could use that if you wanted to, but that's still a little bit more work than I would like to do. So I'm going to add a table. I went up to the plus sign, add item, and then I clicked on table. Now up at the top, this needs to match what we wanted on our table. So remember, we're going to change this n to be an x and the f of n to be f of x. So I need this to say x, not x1, but just x. And I need to delete this and type f of x. And then I can enter the values in that I need for my table, negative 2, negative 1, 0, and 1. And look what happened. It filled in the table for you. So you have 4, 1, 0, and 1. Good work. Those are already x's, so that's nice. You just need to make sure you copy it down correctly. You don't need to worry about changing the table header anymore. You do need to worry about changing your function. And then you need to make sure you change these numbers. They're probably not the same as the last time. This time they're -7, -5, -3, -1. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these out of here and type in -7, -5, -3, and -1. And I get my f of x values, 7, -5, -9, -5. So here, once again, on our function, we need to make sure we change this to say f of x equals x squared plus 6. And then table's fine, other than our values, you would change those to match -2, -1, 0, 1. And there you go, 10, 7, 6, 7. Okay, so just make sure you are changing these to be x's instead of whatever variables there. Make sure you change these numbers in your table each time. But it's that simple.